Okay, we're live. We are minus Adam, but you've got me and Bryan, and I'm awake today. Yesterday, I think I had some kind of heat stroke or something. I just had to lay down. I couldn't get up out of my bed. So, anyways, Bryan and Adam nailed the parlay while I was gone because I had been losing the parlay legs for a couple days in a row. So that's good. And I won my 5% play, which was nice. So, what's up with you, Bryan?
By the way, I like your shirt. That's a nice looking
Oh,
shirt.
thanks.
Uh,
Thanks.
you buy all your shirts in Japan, by the way.
I get them from I buy them from the U.S. on eBay usually. I
Oh,
get some in Japan, but
nice.
yeah.
Um, yeah, we won our parlay yesterday, which was nice, and it was done pretty early. Unfortunately, well, and I also won my free play. Unfortunately, my $5 play I lost. Um, still, still can't understand it, but that's. Thank you, Kristen. Any relation to Sean Hess, by the way? Got one of our favorite guys who used to be in Las Vegas. He lives down in Florida now. But I wanted to talk about, if anybody's following for the first time, Brandon and I are big hard rock, heavy metal fans.
Yep.
And yesterday, unfortunately, Ozzy passed away 17 days after his last concert at 76 years old. It's funny how for years when he was with Black Sabbath that people's parents hated him and the whole bit, and they thought he was a devil worshiper and biting the head off of a bat and a dove and all that other stuff. He only did those things because he thought they were props. He didn't realize the bat was real, and the thing he did. And he's pretty messed up on drugs. What can you say? But ever since the Osbournes TV show came on, you've seen that he's just a great dad and a really nice person, and everybody loves him. And I've heard nothing but good things from anybody who has ever met him. I've seen Black Sabbath a few times, and I've seen Ozzy a few times. Always put on a good show. Gonna miss him. I haven't felt this way since Bon Scott passed away when I was probably 18 or so. Loved Bon Scott. It really hurt me. It was like a family member. I know it's music. We've never met these people, but it's a big part of our lives. And just want to wish everybody and his family the best and all of his fans. And going to miss him.
Yeah, he's such a unique voice. He just belted it out. I started getting into Ozzy right around 1980. I was 9 years old. First album I got by him was Blizzard of Oz. What a great album. And got to see him in 82 when I was 11. So yeah, Ozzy was amazing. My second favorite artist of all time. So he's one of the few people who was probably more successful as a solo than he was with a really good band.
One of the all-time greats, yeah.
One of the all-time greats. And he actually surpassed that solo. Morrissey's another one who kind of surpassed the Smiths, but he's not heavy metal. But he surpassed the Smiths with his solo career. But Ozzy, yeah, man, no one else sings like that. But he did a drug or two in his life. So
yeah, one or two. He's given us a lot of great stories. If you ever read The Dirt by Motley Crue, they talk about a few of them. Everybody's got an Ozzy story. So I'm sure there are going to be a lot of those out on Twitter and everything on YouTube this week. So I am looking forward to a lot of the stories. Unfortunately, the situation is not what we wanted. But let's get to baseball. What do you want to talk about today?
Yeah, so I'm gonna just pick a game that I think is a really good matchup today. So I want to talk Brewers and Mariners, two really good pitchers, and two teams that are playing really well. So how do you see this one shaking out? And then I'll give you my thoughts after you.
Yeah, before we get going on today's game, I want to talk a little bit about yesterday's. I had a doctor's appointment, and I got to meet one of our clients, one of our fans, Ken, over at the Westgate. Real nice guy from Ohio. And on the way home, I heard the Ozzy news, but I also heard the Milwaukee coach was on one of the radio shows, national radio show for ESPN. They do a really good job. I think it's Loud Outs, if I remember correctly. But they had the coach of Milwaukee on there, and they asked him about Mizrachi, and he said, yeah, he said, unfortunately, he's pitched, he's thrown a lot of innings so far in the minors, and so far we're trying to keep him under control a little bit, and he's not going to get the full time as a starter. So being a sports bettor, the first thing I look for is outs for him. And it was 15.5, but it was like minus 250 by that time. And I'm sure it was probably a better number before that. It was a really good bet, even at minus 250s for those people who don't like to lay big numbers. That one was one of them that, even though he pitched terrific, he didn't give up a run. He had a whole lot of strikeouts. They pulled him out when he had through like 60 pitches. So keep that in mind. Even on, I hate to say it, even on ESPN, you get some good information once in a while instead of the talking heads about fictitious things going on. So that's something to keep in mind if you are in the car. I love music, but sometimes you get good information on these baseball shows.
Yeah, he only went 11 outs, by the way.
Yeah, and it was 15.5. And the announcers talking about it the entire time. They said, we don't know how long he's going to go. And I'm thinking that was the easiest bet ever, even at 250. Okay, today Priester's going against Castillo. Normally, I like to fade a team who is off of a big winning streak, and that would be fade Milwaukee here. But that would be the only way I would look. You've got Priester going against Castillo. Castillo's about a 128 favorite, 7.5. Quinn Priester's been very good for Milwaukee. This is a team that's turning into the Pittsburghs, the Clevelands, being able to develop pitching. Priester, since he's come over here, he's 8-2, 3.33 ERA, 3.53 expected, 1.20 whip. His ground ball percent's in the 96th percentile, which is very good. Most of his other numbers are mediocre, and he's not a guy that is going to blow you away for the most part, but expected ERA 68th percentile. He's not terrible, in anything, but he's a guy that has outperformed his metrics in the past, and he's got a bright future. Unfortunately, Luis Castillo is just the opposite, 3.21 ERA. That's the highlight. That's what you expect from him. His lifetime ERA is 3.53, but his expected ERA is over a full run higher, 4.26, 1.21 whip. If you've seen him pitch this year, he's not the same. Used to have a very good four-seamer. Nowadays, his average exit velocity, 27th percentile, barrel rate 17th, hard hit rate 16th. He's first in extension, first percentile in extension, despite being 6'2". 6'2" is still a pretty tall guy. So a lot of time for the opposition to react to his pitches, and he doesn't have the same success in his pitches as he's had in the past. If you take a look at his fastball, it's at 95.2, which is basically maybe a half a run better than league average, or in the past he's had much better success rates. His strikeout to walk rate this year is only 13.5, and league average is just less than 16. So Castillo's a guy who's been very fortunate with that ERA so far, but a guy we're looking to fade. That was a hell of a game yesterday, by the way. Both teams pitching well. One hit, the home run, was enough to win it for Seattle. I think at the current price, we can get Milwaukee in the 115 to 120 range. That would be the way I like. I still like the way Milwaukee's playing, and I prefer them from the starting pitcher standpoint.
So when I run my numbers on this, Milwaukee seems to have a lot of advantages here. The team that I completely threw under the bus and trashed about 2 weeks ago went on a 10-game winning streak after I trashed
games. 11 games.
11. So, look, they're hitting better. Their bullpen's playing better, and their starting pitchers ranked higher. The one thing about this, though, is Castillo has some amazing numbers against this team in his history. However, like you mentioned, he's not exactly the same shutdown guy that he used to be. But in 73 at-bats against, a 1.78 ERA against, and a 6.09 OPS, it's pretty amazing numbers. And to be honest, now, if I say this now, Milwaukee's going to go on another 10-game winning streak. But honestly, I don't think their lineup is as good as they're performing but now watch him go win 10 games in a row again. But if I were to go anyway, I would go Milwaukee, but I'm hesitant because Castillo has such good numbers against him. But are we going to get 2020 Castillo or are we going to get 2025 Castillo is the question, right? So guys, I have a 4% play out today in MLB, and Bryan always does this show and then puts his plays out. So when the show's over, do us a favor, go to our pages at Wager Talk. I've been putting out my PDF projections for pitchers. I didn't do it yesterday because I was laying down sweating all night, but they're up today. So go grab those. Go see Bryan's page too, because he will have a play out. Do you have any 5% plays left for this month, Bryan? Mine are all gone.
Oh yeah, plenty. I've only had one all month. I just haven't found places to be able to play them. I'd like to get them out.
So check Bryan's page. Check Bryan's page later. He might have a 5%.
There is because I didn't find anything strong enough. 4% I put once in a while.
Yeah,
I had one yesterday, unfortunately, but I do want to point out the Seattle. The last 30 days, Seattle's WRC plus is 112 and Milwaukee's 108. So both teams hitting pretty well in the last month, and two very good teams. I expect both these teams to either be in the playoffs or be fighting for the playoffs, and it's been a great series so far. I think we get another good game tonight.
And Kristen, thank you for remembering that it's evening where I'm at. She said, good evening, Tokyo, and good morning, Bryan. So
there you go.
Very thoughtful person out there. So next game I think I want to take a look at is I'd like to take a look at we got a comment here. They want to talk about the Royals and the Cubs. We got Ray going against Seth Lugo, the ex-Met. So Seth Lugo's been having a really good season so far, and Ray's been a little up and down. Obviously, Chicago has the better lineup, but are they performing currently better? And how do you see this one shaking out, Bryan?
Yeah, I want to get to the weather reports a little bit. The rain in Atlanta, about 40% during game time. We've got about 40% in Colorado, and about 40 to 50% in Tampa. Tampa gets a lot of rain. If you've not been down to Florida area, they get a lot of rain, but it's in short bursts. So, the rain, then all of a sudden it's good. It's just the way Florida is, the way Bahamas is. In Chicago tonight, the wind is blowing out 12 miles an hour. And that's something, a lot of people want to take a look at to see how that goes, because that's a major factor when you're going to called the Windy City for a reason. Seth Lugo, 2.94 ERA, expected ERA 4.71, 1.09 whip. So he's not been nearly as good as his numbers suggest. In fact, the only thing he's better than on the StatCast page, better than average, is his walk rate, 67th percentile. Strikeout to walk rate is 14.5, less than what the average is. And he's got a lot of blue on his card. So as much as I've liked him, because he doesn't give up a lot of home runs, he is a guy who pitches much better in Kansas City and then on the road. Kansas City is a very good pitcher's park for the most part, except for this year. Been more home runs coming there, but he's a guy that we're looking to fade a little bit in this situation. And he's going up against Colin Ray, who continues to pitch pretty well and never gets much credit. 8 wins already this season after 12 last year. He's got a 34-23 career record in 7 seasons. That's pretty impressive. His ERA 4.44, not so much. So teams must be hitting when he pitches in his career. While his ERA right now is 3.80, his expected ERA is 4.93. So he's been a little bit lucky. 1.28 whip, and he's very good in his walk rate, 75th percentile, extension 69th. Everything else is in the blue. Strikeout minus walk rate 10.7. So we've got 2 guys here that have produced a lot better than what they should have. And we've got the wind blowing out in Chicago. It, like I said, 12 miles an hour to center, left center, that kind of thing. And this game opened 10 overnight, 10 minus 20. It's now up to 10.5. And it's still a little bit cheap here. The side for the RIA is about 155. So got 155, 10.5. I prefer the over because there's going to be a regression coming from both these guys. Kansas City is not a very good hitting team, but they've been very hot lately offensively. And the Cubs have one of the deepest lineups in Major League Baseball, if not the best. I like this game to go over. We're not getting the 10, but we do get 10.5. We're paying 10 cents less for it. But that would be the way I play this one. This is an afternoon game. And by the way, a lot of afternoon games today. First game goes about 12 noon Eastern. A lot of them happen during the day. We've had a lot of night games lately. A lot of day games today is it's getaway day. And a getaway day, for the most part, is usually a day you want to play unders on. But I think the way this game sets up, I like the over here.
I can't argue with that. Bullpen, Chicago's bullpen, or Kansas City's bullpen has been pretty trash lately, and their lineup is hitting really well right now. What did Perez have 2 home runs yesterday, or the day before? So yeah, they're smashing it really well right now, and the Cubs are not. I have them ranked 19 out of 30 in current form, but they're obviously a lot more talented than that, and they can put up 8 runs a game if all 1 through 9 were all clicking on all cylinders. They are a juggernaut, but not quite hitting in current form. So I've got Lugo ranked 14 out on a curve of 30, and I got Colin Ray ranked 15 on a curve of 30. So starting pitchers, I got them pretty equal, but the Cubs bullpen playing better than Kansas City's, but both of these bullpens are ranked under 15, so they're both below average as far as current form is concerned, according to my rankings. So yeah, I wouldn't argue with an over in this one. I don't see either team with a real huge advantage on the side, but obviously the Cubs are better. But according to me, I think Seth Lugo's better than Ray. So a lot of pushes and pulls there, which means I'm not going to play a side, but I wouldn't argue with your over. Okay. Next game we are going to talk about is the one that everyone wants to talk about, is the Yankees and Blue Jays. Before we get to that, I got a 4% play. Bryan might have a 4% play up later today. Check our pages, guys, and go to the replay of this show and give a comment and a like. It tells Wager Talk that you like our show, and we might get promotions. So how do you like the Yankees and Blue Jays shaping up today, Bryan?
Yankees and Blue Jays. Fried going for the Yankees. He's been pushed back a little bit. He had a blister, and he's had to deal with a blister. And that's the funny thing about baseball is you get these real tough guys playing other sports, and all the things that go through hockey players, football players, and a guy could be on the bench because of a blister on his finger if he's a pitcher in Major League Baseball. It's kind of funny, or sometimes a broken fingernail. But he's going up against Bassett. Right now, Fried is about a 135 favorite, 8.5 on the total. Fried on the season, 11-3. The last 3 years, he's got 30 wins and only 14 losses. And last year, he was 11-10. So it tells you how good he's been in 2023 and 2025. 2.43 ERA this year, 1.01 WHIP, expected ERA. Full run higher, 3.43. A lot of red on his StatCast page. 89th percentile in walk rate, 87th exit velocity, 88th in ground ball percent. Doesn't give up a lot of home runs. Strikeout to walk ratio, which is key to me, 17.6. That's good. That's very good. We like that. Then we take a look at Chris Bassett. Chris Bassett, 10-4 on the season. Third straight year. It's been around 11 years now. Last 3 years, he's won 36 total games. He's a guy that gives you innings, 200, 171, and already 113 this year. 1.36 WHIP, 3.9 expected ERA, right on where his ERA is on the season. Average exit velocity, 94th percentile. He keeps people off balance. Walk rate, 83rd. Hard hit rate, 87th. His walk rate is only 5.9%. And 16.3, slightly better than league average when it comes to strikeout minus walk rate. Like both these pitchers, and I think with the current line of where it is, I think there's slight value on Toronto here to catch them as hot as they've been in the 120 plus 120 range. like them a little bit here. I would expect this to be a lower scoring game. The line tells you that at 8.5, considering how powerful these two offenses can be, and the Toronto is right now. Slight lean with Toronto, probably won't get involved.
Yeah, I like Max Fried a lot. Isn't it interesting that his name is spelled Fried, but it's pronounced Fried? I always thought that was interesting, but it actually is spelled Fried. So anyway, it's fried chicken. So looking at his numbers against the Blue Jays, unbelievable. I mean, he's got a 184 average against and a 465 OPS in his career. And Fried is pitching pretty well this season. He's not walking too many people. He's not striking out a lot, which is kind of concerning. I think his last few games, he's only had like 3 or 4 strikeouts in his starts, if I'm not mistaken. Not looking at it right now, but I just off the top of my head, because I do have a future on him to get a certain amount of strikeouts this season. So I always check. But I've noticed that they're a little low, but he does have great numbers against these guys. And Bassett has terrible numbers against the Yankees, but Bassett's been pitching really well this season. He's got a 304 average against and an 893 OPS against in his career. Mainly the people doing the damage against him. Aaron Judge is 5 for 18 with a home run. Grisham has 2 home runs against him. So those two guys, watch out for them today, perhaps. I've got these teams almost even, though, when you match them up. Although New York does have a big starting pitcher advantage, I think Toronto has the bullpen advantage, because the Yankees bullpen has really been underperforming. It was one of their strengths coming into the season, I thought, but definitely not one of their strengths right now. I got them ranked 15 right on the Mendoza line, where I have Toronto's ranked 2, and they're probably ranked that high because they're winning so many games and they're using their good guys instead of throwing in their guys who don't matter in a losing effort just to get the game over with. So yeah, winning teams will use their better guys, right? So naturally their bullpen numbers will look higher in current form, which is one of the downfalls of doing it my way, the current form way. But anyways, I got these teams pretty even. If anything, I would look at an under here. And I know that sounds crazy because these two teams just whack the crap out of the ball, and this is a hitter's park. So I know it sounds crazy, but if anything, I would take an under because I like Fried. We got the better pitcher going against the better performing lineup at the moment, and the Blue Jays bullpen is just performing great. So if anything, I'd look at an under, but I haven't played it as of yet.
Quick
So
question.
again, yeah, go for it.
Question for you. When you look at the WRC results, RC Plus results for the last 30 days, Toronto was number 2 at 119. The New York Yankees are number 3, tied with the Cubs at 116. Do you happen to know, and I'm sure you've probably got a good idea because you make your own numbers, who leads Major League Baseball now over the last 30 days in WRC Plus?
WRC Plus?
I think
would it be Guerrero?
No, the team.
Oh, what team? Toronto?
No, Toronto and the Yankees are 2 and 3.
Oh, sorry. Who leads? Is it the Brewers? No way.
No, they were like 4. The Angels. Okay. The Angels are plus 123. It was a surprise to me too. I know that they've been hitting a lot of home runs, and they're like an underdog like every day now. It seems to be. So you're getting a really good hitting team in the underdog role. And if you don't mind, I kind of like to talk about this game. Which is
let's do it. Let's do it. I was going to do San Diego, but we'll do San Diego next. I promise, guys. Which game is it then? We're going to do
the Angels and the Mets.
Angels and the Mets. Yeah, please go for it. Go for it. And guys, go to our replay and leave a comment and leave a like. Go for it, Brian.
A couple lefties going today. Burt going for the Angels. Manea going for the Mets. Mets are a pretty good size favorite here, about 170, 174 maybe. 8.5 on the total. But anytime you can catch an Angel team like this in the underdog role, they've been very good at this all season long. Brock Burke comes in 4-1 record, 3.38 ERA, expected ERA 3.95, very similar. His whip's a little high at 1.37. He's 91st in ground ball percent and 81st in extension. The only problem is this is probably one of the worst home run ballparks in Major League Baseball. You don't get a lot of home runs in New York. So the ground ball rate may be wasted, but you've still got a team in Burke and the Angels that I think have some value. His chase rate's only in the 15th percentile, hard hit rate 32nd, so he can be hit a little bit, but this year he's doing pretty well. And his ERA in 5 seasons is 3.93, which is not bad at all. Going up against Sean Manaea, and I like Manaea. He's come in this year. His started one game, and then he was a piggyback the other game. 2.45 ERA, 2.30 expected, 1.09 WHIP. He's been very good, but it is a limited amount of innings. His extension is in the 84th percentile. Strikeout to walk ratio right now is about the biggest that you're ever going to see. 41.9% strikeout rate, 6.5% walk rate, 35.4. That's not going to last. And I think we can start fading Manaea a little bit here. His strikeout rate in his career is 22.6. It's almost 20% higher this year in his small sample size of only 7 1/3 innings. The Metro team, I like the pitching on this team, but they still are not hitting like they should be. And I talked about the Angels being number 1 at 122. Let's see what the Mets are. New York Mets 23rd at 93. So you've got basically 29% better offense over the last month, and you're getting a competent pitcher on the mound, and you're getting them in the plus 150 range. I think the Angels have some value today.
Could not agree more. And the Angels are one of those teams that the books just always slight because they're a bad team generally, but the Angels are a bad team because of their pitching. And actually they have a kind of stigma attached to them as for being a bad team, but that's mostly because Mike Trout's always injured. When he's in that lineup, man, they're pretty good. And I mean, they got rid of Moniak. You know, he's crushing it with Colorado too. I mean, but yeah, this is a really good lineup. As a matter of fact, my stats have them ranked number 4 in MLB in current form, where I got the Mets ranked 23. And if you look at how Manaea's performed against these guys, Manaea, banana, tomato. Anyways, if you look how he's performed against these guys, it's not very well. He has a 321 average against and a 986 OPS against. I always say the 750 is about my Mendoza line for OPS. And the guys who have been doing the damage are Mike Trout, 9 for 21, 429 average, and a 1472 OPS. You guys maybe look for Mike Trout, his hits, runs, RBIs. If you can grab a 1.5 over for that, that would definitely be good. But I have a feeling the books will make that 2.5 for him, so I would lay off that. And let's see who else is doing damage against Manaea. It's mostly Mike Trout. So I like the Angels too. And I think I'm going to make this my parlay piece. I'm going to take the Angels team total over 3.5 for the parlay piece. I think the odds were -20 when I saw it. What do you see it as?
I've got 3.5 minus anywhere from 120 to 125.
Okay. So I'll say 122 then, just to be fair. And so that'll be my parlay piece. We'll recap it at the end, guys. So Bryan will throw his out. He's been winning his parlay pieces. I've been losing mine, but hopefully today we can win one, which is why I was absent yesterday, and Adam and Bryan won. So that was nice. I say the Brewers suck and they go on a 10-game winning streak, and then I leave the show for a day and they hit the parlay. So isn't that how it goes?
Well, if we hit it today, then we can figure out what's going on. If we lose today, then it's a bad thing. But hopefully we can get it. Yeah.
Then I know it's not me.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the Padres and Marlins next. And this game is an enigma. But before that, again, go to our pages at Wager Talk, guys, because we're going to have plays out. I already have mine, and Bryan's going to have his. Two of the best baseball cappers. Adam include Adam. We are the three best baseball cappers on the planet. I'm number one in 2025, and Bryan is Wager Talk's number one baseball guy lifetime. So you got two good guys to roll with here, and we always put free plays up as well. Visit our pages, and now Bryan is going to talk about the Padres and the Marlins.
Cease going for the Padres, Alcantara going for Miami. Cease is about a 150 favorite right now. It's gone up a little bit since the 145 opener. We're looking at 8 to the under in this game. I don't know if I mentioned it on this show, but I talked about second half of the season on something I did, and spoke about Dylan Cease was a guy we wanted to play. He comes out last time, 10 strikeouts, no walks, great game. He's been terrific over the years. 3.85 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. His strikeout minus walk ratio right now on the season, 21.6. Last year it was 20.9. He's been consistent the last 5 or 6 years on what he has done. He's been very good. And he had a lot of bad luck earlier. Comes in with a 4.64 ERA, expected ERA 3.46. So over 1 run better, 1.30 WHIP. It's always been a little bit of a concern as he does walk some batters. And if he falls behind and you're a pretty good hitter, he doesn't want to groove anything to you. So he'll put you on base. There's been a few guys that have done this over the years, and it works for them. And but that's something that he's known for. He's in his 7th season, and he's got a lot of red on his StatCast card. Whiff percent 94%, strikeout 89, chase rate 89, fastball velocity 87th. He throws 6 pitches, but really his slider is at 47%. His four seam is at 41%. His four seam's at 97.1%, which is, or miles per hour, which is about 3 miles per hour higher than what the normal is. So he can get away with throwing a lot of fastballs because he's got a very good fastball. Normally, guys who throw a lot of fastballs, I don't like, but if you can hit that range, the Mizrahi range that we saw last night, that kind of thing, it definitely works. I like him. I want to play him. The problem is the line is a little bit higher than what I feel comfortable with. Sandy Alcantara, 7.14 ERA, 5.10 expected. So he's been bad, no doubt about it. Even with the 5.10 expected ERA, he has not been good, but he is due some positive regression. He's got a 1.49 WHIP, and that's really bad. His strikeout minus walk ratio is 7.8, which is clearly bad. He's got that great fastball, 91st percentile. He throws it 23% along with a sinker, 24%, and a change set 21. So he's got 5 pitches, which is why most guys like him. But he's had trouble this year coming back from injury, sitting out last season, hasn't put it all together. It's amazing that he's struggled to do this where somebody like the Brewers pitcher has come back and just as soon as he started, he's been great. So it's everybody comes back from injuries differently. He still has not come back very strongly. I like the Miami team for a value standpoint, but I like Cease. I think he's got a huge advantage in the starting pitcher situation. Probably a way to play it in that regard, maybe play Miami team total under for the first half or something. But I want to get to Cease, but I don't want to lay the 150 as a road favorite here because, as we pointed out before, we like this Miami team, and they do have some pretty good hitters.
Yeah, the way I'm looking at this one, I've got the hitting kind of even here. And let's see. Oh, sorry. I got the guys backwards. Hang on. We got Cease and Alcantara. Yeah. Okay. Got it. I'm okay, guys. I'm multitasking. You guys know I'm not real good at that. So yeah, I got the hitting pretty even. Miami's hitting quite well. San Diego, obviously more talented, but Miami's kind of on a surge right now. I got both bullpens pretty even as well. The only real big discrepancy I see in this game is Cease over Alcantara. But it's not a big enough difference to make me play the game. But man, San Diego's just a lot more talented. I really want to go with San Diego, but can't because the difference is just not big enough for me. So I'll probably be laying off of this game. I think Bryan broke it down better than I could even imagine breaking it down. So I will go to the next game. By the way, you guys, you can at my page, you can download all of my pitcher projections, and that includes walks, hits, outs recorded, strikeouts, all of that. Now, I'm not going to say that it's 100% accurate, but it's the same stats I used when I was an MLB scout, and they've let me have 4 winning years out of the last 5 years at Wager Talk. So I think, nothing, you can't base your bet on just stats. You have to use an eyeball test as well, but these will maybe steer you in a way if you're thinking about betting something and, kind of hesitating. Maybe this will push you over the line and get you a win, hopefully. Let's touch on the Detroit Tigers game today. So the Tigers are going against Pittsburgh, and I was very surprised to see my eyes get tagged that bad yesterday. I didn't expect that, but today they got Melton going against Falter, and now I don't know anything about Melton, so maybe you know more about him than I do. If you don't know anything about him and you're not going to cap it, we'll move on to a different game. But do you have thoughts on this game?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
We've got Melton against Falter. Falter the lefty. Melton comes in about a 145 favorite, total of 9 to the under 20. I mentioned that show that I had watched yesterday, or listened to yesterday, and they have a lot of the coaches on. They had the Detroit on, and they asked them, they said, you've got so much depth in starting pitching in Detroit. Why, what can you tell us about Melton? He said, well, he goes, I like the guy out of spring training. He said, I knew he'd be a guy for our future. He's 24 years old. He's a righty, 6'4", 210 pounds. Take a look at his career in the minors. His career, he's 12-12, 3.63 ERA, 1.24 WHIP. It's tough to look at that overall and make a judgment. He was with both the Erie Sea Dogs and the Toledo Mudhens this year. Good ERA both times. Hasn't thrown a lot of innings, 75 innings or so overall. But he does have a lot of strikeouts. He's a guy that's got 101 strikeouts so far this year and only 75 innings. So he's going to come into this game. And the coach, they kind of talked about young pitchers coming into Major League Baseball. And the mistake that they make is they come in here and they've got a really good fastball. They're a really big strikeout pitcher like Melton. And the coaches always tell them, you had a lot of success in the minors, but these guys have been around a long time. They can hit a fastball. A lot of times the guy will come in, he'll get, he says, what happened? He says, I told you that they could hit your fastball. He goes, I didn't think they could hit my fastball.
Yeah.
I got
a lot of guys have a lot of
the arrogance of these 20-year-old kids. It's like, hey, I'm different than that last guy, those last 100 guys that did this. But we all
think that in a way, I think sometimes.
Yeah.
But at that level, you have to think like that, or you can't get to that level.
If you're arrogant and that you're not making it to the pros. You've got to have something like that pushing you. Bailey Falter, 6-5 record, 4.00 ERA, expected 4.50, 1.22 WHIP, great extension, 96 percentile. He's 6'4", 28 years old here. So his pitches get on you in a hurry. The problem is the other team has no problem hitting them. Chase rate, 6 percentile, whiff rate, 6 percentile, walk rate, 4th percentile, hard hit, 15th. He's got 5 pitches, throws his four-seamer 46% of the time, but it's not dominant. He's only 92.1 miles an hour. It's 2 miles an hour worse than your normal major league pitcher, and he throws it 50% of the time. That's what I don't like. Total in this game, obviously, is what we're going to take a look at here. 9 to the under 20. It's an early game. gives me reason to take the over here. Let's take a look at what Detroit and Pittsburgh have done uh, in over the last month here in WRC Plus. Pittsburgh dead last, 79. Detroit's 10th at 105. But Pittsburgh, for some reason, is hitting pretty well lately. I like this game going over. I think we can get to 10 runs between these two, especially that since Detroit's got a guy up there who hasn't pitched in the majors before, he's a righty. And if you followed me in the past, I like to play lefties who are making their major league debut and play them for a while because you don't see as many lefties as you do righties. About 30% of the time you get a lefty out there. And so teams don't know as much about them. The coach said they go, and nowadays they should know everything about them because you see everything out there and you've got scouts. But until you actually face these guys, you don't know what they have. And him stepping up in class here, even though it's the Pirates and they're probably the worst offense in baseball, I think he's going to struggle. So give me the over 9 is probably a game I'm going to take a look at here.
Yeah, echoing those same sentiments. Both of these bullpens are performing horribly right now. So, I'm sorry. Wait, both of these. Yeah. Sorry, no. The bullpens are performing quite average, but I got Bailey Falter ranked 26 out of 30 on a curve of 30. And if you look at how he's performed against the Tigers in his career, a 348 average against and a 1245 OPS against, that's 23 at bats, which is not a huge sample size, but it's at least one start. And it tells you that it's almost 2 starts. So it tells you that they've smacked him around pretty good. I would think about the Detroit team total, but it's along the same sentiments as Bryan's game over. Detroit's team total over also would be a good play, I think, here, even if it's 4.5. Detroit bats are a little cold right now, but Pittsburgh's are cold as well. But nothing like a little Bailey Falter to wake up your bats. That certainly would not. Yeah, it's like the Joker said in Batman, this town needs an enema. Well, Bailey Falter will be the Detroit bats enemas, I think. So maybe the Detroit total over in that game would be a decent play. I think next I would like to talk about Bryan's favorite team and the Cleveland soon to be Indians, currently Guardians team. And so when you do Cleveland, when you cap Cleveland games, do you completely throw away your fandom, or are you just hoping they win?
Yeah, when it comes to my money, I have no fandom. Usually I go against my teams more often than I go on them.
Right.
But
and since you're a Guardians fan, that's been easy to go against them lately.
Well, I'm not a Guardians fan. I'm an Indians fan. I don't mention Guardians unless I have to. I used to call them the garbage men. But,
just call them Cleveland.
You got Eflin going for Baltimore, coming back from injury. Ciccone for Cleveland. Ciccone's about a 125 favorite, 8.5 here. I talked about yesterday. I talked about how bad that Baltimore defense was. Laureano, it's funny because Laureano has hit 3 home runs, I think, in the last 2 games, and he probably should have like 4 errors. Anything he does offensively, he gives back defensively, and it's been funny. I feel terrible for the guy because obviously he may get traded. He wants to show what he can do, and he's having a hell of an offensive season, but defensively, oh my God, he's been pathetic. But Eflin comes in 5.95 ERA, expected ERA 4.26. So he's pitching a lot better than what he's shown. His career ERA is 4.27, but the last few years, 23 and 24, he was in mid 3s. So I like this guy. He's not going to blow you away with his strikeouts or anything. In fact, his strikeout rate is only 15.6, but he only walks 4.1, and that's the big deal here. Here's his walk percentages the last 5 years: 4.1, 3.5, 3.4, 4.8, 3.5. When you don't put people on base, you can have a really nice career, even though your forcing fastball, you only throw 13% of the time because it's 91.9%. I like him. He's having a bad year, but now that he's back from injury, I expect him to really improve here. 97th percentile in walks, by the way, 75th percentile in chase rate. He's not a lot of people want to bet on him, and I've talked about this in the past when guys are not big strikeout guys, because and it makes a lot of sense because more balls in play may give you a chance to give up more hits, and especially the way this Baltimore defense has been this week. And I don't get a chance to watch every Baltimore's game, but this week they've looked really bad. But I like Eflin, and I think he's going to have a little bit of success here. Ciccone, 3.84 ERA, 4.71 expected. So he's been a little bit lucky. A 1.23 whip. Walk rate is good. It's the only red thing on his card, 73% walk rate. 73% walk percentile. Strikeout minus walk ratio, 15.1. Not the greatest, one less than normal, but his average exit velocity, 5th percentile, chase rate 6th, barrel rate 6th, hard hit 9th. After all of that, I want to either play on Baltimore or I want to play Baltimore team total over, or I want to play Cleveland team total under. I may be using one of these as my parlay. I'll wait on that, but there's different ways to play this game. But I like the Baltimore Orioles to finally salvage one of these games in this series.
So yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one. I'm not a big fan of Eflin, and actually, I've never been a fan of Ciccone either. I mean, I'm from Arizona. I wouldn't say I'm a Diamondbacks fan, but I watch most of their games, and when he was with Diamondbacks, I couldn't stand him. And now I don't like him either. But the Orioles, their hitting and their bullpen are both ranked really, really low, like really low. And Cleveland's are ranked quite high. I've got Cleveland's lineup ranked 7 right now, and then I got their bullpen ranked 8. I do have Ciccone ranked 20 out of on a curve of 30. So that is a little bit of a concern. Might be looking at it over here, but I don't know if Baltimore can score. I don't know. I would have to lean Cleveland, but it's hard to think that they're going to sweep this team. So, yeah, I probably won't play it, but man, all my signs point towards Cleveland for some odd reason. Even though I really haven't liked them for a while. So I probably won't play that game. By the way, Bryan, just for education for the people who might be watching the show for the first time, when you say 90th percentile and 50th percentile, which is good, which is bad?
Yeah. The higher percent, well, it depends on what category it's in. The higher percentile, if you're a pitcher or you want to have, obviously, the higher the better. The things like that golf. It's red and blue. If you go to MLB.com and you go to the Baseball Savant page, it'll show you everybody's breakdown. It's got hitters as well as pitchers. If we had like a 3-hour show every day, I could get into the hitters a lot more than what we do here. But for example, Ciccone, 73rd percentile in walk rate. Anything above 50 means you're better than league average. Anything worse than 50 means you're worse. So if I say he's in the 5th percentile of average exit velocity, that means 95% of baseball pitchers are better than he is in that regard. So that's the way to be able to read that. And I do want to point out yesterday's game, because Cleveland has been winning in the series, you haven't seen a lot of the Orioles' better bullpen guys. Yesterday, Class A got to say we only threw 13 pitches, hadn't pitched the previous 3. He'll be there tonight, and Gaddis will be there. But Cade Smith threw 31 pitches yesterday, and Eric Sabrowski, a good young lefty, the tribe I'll call him, is brought up the last couple of years. He threw 23 pitches, so neither one of them will probably pitch today. But the key Baltimore bullpen guys should be able to pitch because they haven't been winning. And so they should be a little bit fresher.
Sounds good. Again, I'm going to promo the heck out of it because we got lots of time and Adam's not here. So, uh, you, me, and Adam are probably the only three guys on the planet that could just sit here and talk about baseball for 3 hours. But our not our fans, our chat seems to enjoy the baseball just like us. And this is the audience that we wanted, is people who like to deep dig into it and geek out on baseball. So we appreciate you guys. And Kristen, thank you. You're a sweetheart, sending memberships and money and all that for another guy's birthday. Appreciate that. So we're going to talk about the Astros and Diamondbacks here. One team that's always good. The Diamondbacks started the season really, really good, and they've tailed off. Some people were talking in the first 2 weeks of the season that the Diamondbacks might win that division. Now they have a losing record. So, yeah. Well, how do you see this one shaking out? I mean, one team is perennially playoff bound, and the other went to the World Series a couple of years ago and has plummeted a little bit since then.
Well, the Diamondbacks are 2 games under 500, but they're plus 15 in scoring differential. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Cleveland is playing 500 ball, and they're minus 35. So two things. There's two of many things that you need to look at when you are breaking down how these teams are. But Arizona is playing better as of late. I still think they need to pick up at least one starting pitcher, but we'll see at the trade deadline what they do, being in as you mentioned, like 4th place in that division. Brandon Pfaadt is the pitcher for Arizona. He started off the second half, and he came out and he pitched very well. Walter, lefty, going for Houston. Current line, Arizona is about a 120 favorite, 122. Total 8.5 to the under. Brandon Walter has been a guy that we have loved because he doesn't walk anybody. But yet he's 1-3 on the season, even with a 3.66 ERA, 0.96 WHIP, expected ERA 2.95. They haven't hit for him. He's got a lot of red on the StatCast page, which means good things. But walk rate, 100th percentile. He only walked 1.6 batters per 100. So his walk percentage 1.6%, strikeout percent 25.3, gives him a 23.7 strikeout minus walk ratio. Excellent. His fastball velocity is only in the 13th percentile. That's what he's bad at. 87% of major league pitchers are better at throwing a fastball, getting fastball velocity than he is. He throws at 91.9, just like the other gentleman I spoke about a few minutes ago. He only throws it 19% of the time, which is good. He's got 5 pitches. He throws double digits. That's what I like. And that's one of the reasons why I've been backing him. He's one of those lefties that nobody knew about. Came out of the bullpen in 2023, played 9 games, 23 innings pitched. Comes back this year as a starter, and he's had a lot of success in that regard for himself. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, he's 1-3 in those games, so the Astros haven't taken advantage of it. He's opposing Brandon Pfaadt, a guy who's really been really up and down this year. And if you take a look at his StatCast page, you see why. 93rd percentile in walk rate, only walks 5 per game, only strikes out 19.7 though. So he comes in at 14.7. Chase rate, 67th percentile, extension 66. He's 6'4", gets the ball on you in a hurry. Unfortunately, expected batting average, 2nd percentile. First percentile, expected batting average, 2nd percentile ERA, 2nd percentile average exit velocity, 3rd barrel rate, 4th hard hit rate. When he gets hit damn hard. And that's been the problem with his 4.82 ERA. He's very up and down. If you play fantasy baseball or if you're a fan of Arizona, 1 minute this guy could look great. The next minute you wonder why he's still in the rotation. That is always my concern with these guys. You'd like to be in more of a situation when you're putting your money up there, you know what you can bet on and what you're sure of, at least as sure as you can be. That's the problem with him, is you never know what you're going to get, as Forrest Gump would say. So I'm going to pass on this game, and I like Walter. but the team doesn't, just for some reason, hasn't been scoring for them. So prefer the dog, but Arizona's bats are pretty hot right now.
I'm going to pass on this game too. And before you guys complain, why do you talk about games that you're passing on instead of giving us free plays? Look, we would not be experts if we had a bet on every single game, but we want to give you information. The purpose of the show is to give you information from professional cappers' minds so you can make good decisions as well, not just buy our plays, but also make your own decisions. So Bryan just talked and gave a lot of good information without saying he's going to play the game, and I'm about to do the same as well. So hopefully you guys can use this information and make bets as well, because we don't always have a strong enough opinion to bet on a play. So here's my opinion on this. Brandon Pfaadt is just, he's so erratic. I mean, you look at his stats, he's just up and down all over the place. I have him ranked 21 out of 30 pitchers, which is almost towards the bottom on a curve of 30, but he's got seriously elite control. He doesn't walk people and he strikes people out. I mean, usually a pitcher who walks only 19% of the guys he strikes out, usually that pitcher is going to have really good numbers and really good expected numbers. The problem with Pfaadt is his expected numbers are through the roof. I mean, he's actually getting lucky, and he doesn't even have that good of numbers, and he's getting lucky on top of that. But he's not walking anyone. So what does it mean? It means when people hit the balls he pitches, they're crushing those balls. So like Bryan said, he could come out and look like Nolan Ryan in one game, and then he can come out and look like the big sexy on his next one, right? So you know who the big sexy is, right? What was his name? The Mets pitcher who came out and hit a home run that one time, totally overweight guy. What was his name?
Oh,
you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
they called him the big sexy, but anyways, I forgot his name.
It won home run in his career.
Yeah, someone will put it in the chat probably.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But one of my favorite players at the time, actually.
Yeah. Bartolo Colon. Thank you, Kristen. Wow, Kristen, fast on the response there. Not only is she giving us memberships and money, she's answering our quiz questions. Thank you, Ethan. You got it too. Walks over for Pfaadt. I don't know, man. You should check his walks ratio. It's pretty low. I don't know if I would do that. But I do think he's a very inconsistent pitcher, and I don't like to bet on him. And Brandon Walter actually has a better walk ratio. So neither one of these pitchers walk people, and they have decent walks to strikeout ratios. Both lineups are hitting really well, and both bullpens are rather mediocre. So if anything, I would go over on this one, but I am not going to play it. So we got 2 minutes left. So do you have a parlay piece?
I do have my parlay piece. And
okay, let's talk about that. Is it a game we've covered already?
It's a game we've covered, so I'll be brief.
Okay.
But I do want to point out, yesterday I'd asked everybody, we both asked everybody to get into get in there and tell us, what on the replay on some of your plays, what you like, that kind of thing. We appreciate it. Sometimes we're trying to trade. If you know something I don't know, it'll help us out. So, which is why we're here sending it to you, because it might be something you don't know. So it helps us all out. We all make more money. I mean, I love it. Yep. And so make sure to like it and subscribe, and and all that, all that goes. I'm going to go back to that Baltimore Cleveland game. I'm going to play Baltimore team total over 3.5 at -140. If you're not able to play team totals over, either play Baltimore you'd play Baltimore in that game. I think they got a really good chance to win this game, or play the total in the game overall over. I think Baltimore's going to score some runs here. Over 3.5 -140, and you had the Angels team total over 3.5 -122.
Correct. So what does that come to? I'm not good at calculating parlays, but
we'll have to ask the chat, because I don't play parlays, and I play straight.
Well, if I go to a parlay calculator right now, I'm not going to be able to talk because, as you know, I don't multitask very well. So if anyone in the chat could tell us what's a 122 and a 140 parlay, we'd appreciate it. So again, on my page, you can download. Is it $4? $4? Really? That means plus 400? I doubt it's plus 400.
That can't be it.
Yeah.
Normal or two even is like 230. So
right. I would think it's about 280, 230, 250, something like that. But anyways, my page, you can download my pitcher projections, the walks, the hits, the strikeouts, and all of that. Trig does not have a parlay piece, Bill. So we're going to do a tour again because we won one yesterday without me. So we're going to win one without Trig. Jack, I would agree with you. It's probably around 250. And I have a 4% MLB play out. Bryan is going to put something out later, more than likely. Bryan is a little more conservative on putting his plays out. I'll have a day where I put out like 5 or 6 plays. Bryan puts out usually 1 or 2. Am I correct?
Yeah, some days I'll put out the other day when my cable went out or my internet went out, I only put up 1.5%, but they put up 4 of them because I couldn't get the information to write up my 209. That sounds what I expected it to be.
Appreciate so we got anywhere between 209, 212. So we'll call it 210.
210. Yep.
Yeah, 210 it looks like. So we'll wrap up the show. One guy's getting 220. Wow. Good book. We'll call it 210 though, just for our sake. We'll call it plus 210. And we're going to wrap up the show there because Bryan needs to do his numbers and I need to go to sleep. But anyways, we appreciate you guys watching. Sorry I missed yesterday. And Adam is driving to he's taking his cousin, I think, his 9-year-old cousin to a baseball game, I think. A nephew.
That's cool.
Nephew or niece. So he's with a child today. So we kept it clean because we know he's listening to the show. So no cursing and no alcohol for the child. So anyways, we appreciate you guys watching. Do us a huge favor. It costs you nothing and it takes only 15 seconds. Leave a comment on the replay and click the like on the replay. Show Wager Talk that you like us and visit our pages because not only can you buy something, but Bryan and I constantly are putting up free plays as well. So you can grab those and cash with us as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. 2 of the best cappers on the planet. Add Adam, we're 3 of the best cappers on the planet. Tune in tomorrow and it'll be the 3 amigos again. Thanks for tuning in and we will be back with more.